All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Gonna be breaking down the round 2 coverage here for the Players Championship, giving you guys some showdown picks, some 3-ball bets, maybe some outrights if we can find any. I don't think there's going to be any that we need to jump on. But with that, let's go in and get into it. I do want to touch on a quick recap of round 1. So round 1 ended up being a pretty good day, guys. Starting with the 3-ball bets, 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. So that was very good. Ended up with a total of 3.17 units won there. Looking in at the first round leader, shout out to Xander getting that first round lead for us. Unfortunate it was the 3-way split, but at 35-1, a 3-way split still yielded about 4.5 units of profit. Unfortunately, missed out on the 2 bet slips that I gave you guys for PrizePicks and Underdog. So with that, about 5.7 units of profit won on the day in day 1. So a very good day 1. Hopefully we can do that for you guys again in day 2. And interestingly enough, I would say round 1 kind of went as expected. Just in general, starting with ownership, like it seemed to be Scotty very heavy, and that's what ended up happening. And then everyone else was basically the exact same. Now I will say I'm a little bit shocked that they're high owned, but I'm a little bit shocked that like Connors, Hoagie, Keith Mitchell, some of those easy plays were not as high owned. So I don't know. That was nice to see personally, but that was what was expected. In terms of ownership leverage, we are gaining some pretty decent leverage right now, mostly because Tom Kim was like one of the worst plays and he withdrew. But I mean, he wasn't too high owned, but he still popped up as a play that was over owned. But yeah, I would say round 1 went as expected. Really, for me, the only player that I need to step up is going to be Sam Burns, and Sam Burns will probably be someone that pops up putting wise. That's expected to putt better. But yeah, we can see right now Sam Burns +1. I think I saw him like 3-putt 3 times. He should be a good play though in round 2. The issue that we have, and I kind of think this could be something to monitor, guys. We're not getting any props elsewhere in terms of like finding strokes, but Sam Burns is at 71. I do think that they are favoring golfers that have the PMT times to maybe struggle a little bit more. We did see that slightly today as well, but I mean that sticks out, right? Does it not? Sam Burns compared to every other name there. Interesting. I will say that. Tom Hoagie's interesting there as well, 71. So they are kind of based off of this. Draftkings pick 6 is kind of thinking that it's going to play a little bit more difficult in round 2. Now we don't have any of the pin placements or tee placements just yet. Tough to know for sure, but I think that's kind of a decent way to gauge maybe how players are going to do. That being said, we have some other ways to do that as well. I know a lot of people out there like to look at, all right, which golfers are going to improve putting or not improve putting. Let's start with improve putting. And so we are going to see Sam Burns pops up there as the 4th most likely golfer to improve his putting compared to round 1, compared to how he plays in the throughout the season thus far. So that's really the one big name that really stands out though. Like Willie Z kind of popping up in there as well, 20th most likely to improve putting. I mean, he played poorly, but like that's not like too crazy for him. The opposite though, I will say Rory, like, yeah, probably not going to have as good of a day putting. I mean, 3 strokes gain putting, 3.5 strokes gain putting. He has not been a good putter thus far this season. Now I know it did seem like something turned around a little bit for him, really at the tail end of last week, but that's not going to happen again. So he needs to pick it up elsewhere. I know he got away with a couple of, well, I don't want to say he got away with a couple of generous drops, but Jordan might think so. I don't know if you guys caught that clip or not. Just check on it. It's on Twitter everywhere. PJ Tour posted. Basically, Rory had a couple of bad drives and he might have, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. It didn't seem like anything really. But the point is he's probably not going to play as well, obviously, in round 2. But to me, the best way I like to look at is actually just go into the 9 to 5 showdown tab, select round 2, and we can just kind of see which golfers are most likely to play better and worse in round 2. So I like to look at this regression stat. And now I do want to call out, there are some golfers on the course right now. And so I'm going to put this slider all the way up to 18, just so we can filter those golfers that are still on the course out, because that data can change for them. It can be very skewed without them finishing the round. So that's what I'm doing right now. So again, Sam Burns is probably going to be a golfer that could play a little bit better. Jake Knapp actually could potentially play a little bit better. Carson Young a little bit better as well. On the flip side, that where are some golfers that probably played much better than expected? We're going to see Lee Hodges, Seb Straka, which on the 9 to 5 Discord chat, I called out some pick 6 props, basically really cheering for him not to struggle in round 2. Let's put it that way, because needed to make the cut pretty much, and it's going to be a good day there. But Tommy Fleetwood popping up in there, Ryan Moore, Justin Rose, Bryce Garnett, Ryan Fox, who kind of got lucky with the hole-in-one, but nothing too crazy here. I think that's what's expected. I mean, it's the Players Championship. These are the best golfers playing against each other. And so let's go ahead and take a peek at the showdown ranks for round 2. Scotty going to be number 1, and this is kind of where it's up to you guys whether what you want to do here. If you want to just target AM only guys, you can. I do think there's a slight edge there. I did that in round 1. Not too successful, like winning, like literally profiting like $2, which is like, who cares, right? But I do think there's a slight edge for the AM tee time. The prop data seems to think so as well. So if you wanted to do that, you could. So because the round's not done just yet, I'm sorting by late, just as an FY. But looking at it, I'm not going to prioritize Jake Knapp, but he's someone that's popping up, or Pavon. I'm not gonna prioritize those guys, but some of the golfers that I'm already on this week, I'm for sure feeling good about it. Like Scotty, everyone's on him. Benny Ann though, JT, I do expect him to have a better round 2. Just had a weird stretch of a few holes there where he struggled. Hideki, I don't mind, but Keith Mitchell, someone I'd be happy to play, more than happy to play Keith Mitchell actually. Let's see here. I actually made a decent hand build, but now looking at it, maybe not. Maybe it's not a good hand build. And I'll show you guys what I mean. Like, I don't know. I don't really expect Wyndham Clark to have another good round, but I do want to prioritize getting to JT. I do feel like Tony Finau is a little bit too low owned. Corey Connors did have a good round 2. I kind of expect that to continue. The data might not, but Keith Mitchell definitely seems too cheap. He feels like someone we should be going out of our way to target. You could do Jake Knapp as in there as well. Again, I don't know if I exactly love that, but Benny Ann is someone that's popping up, so could sub in Benny Ann. And obviously I've already on Doug Gim this week. I'm on Keith Mitchell, I'm on Connors, I'm on Tony Finau. So like I'm kind of double dipping, betting on them to continue to play well because they already were popping. And again, I feel like these guys are all a little bit too cheap. So that's a little bit strange. Maybe Doug Gim, he actually seems a little bit priced up compared to some of the other players there. So maybe there's a slight edge there. But again, what's weird about this week is the pricing. I just seem to keep ending up on these kind of dead ranges, if you will. So that seems to be a conundrum. And again, there's still some golfers finishing up, and that'll change probably who we're being on a little bit. But let's go ahead and run the 9 to 5 lineup builder. And so let's go ahead and take a peek at which golfers are projected to be the best value. Again, Jake Knapp popping up in there, Pavon. I don't know if I exactly want to be on those golfers. Brian Harman, I don't know if I exactly need to be on those golfers as well. So like, to me, Kurt Kitayama, I'm going to cap a little bit. I don't know, because this is where I do struggle a little bit. Like the data is telling us to play them, like maybe not too much, maybe like 15 to 10% for both of those two. Again, the data is telling us to play them. I don't want to go against the data. Typically, is the biggest mistakes that I make is doing that. So let's just run it and see kind of what happens. Again, what I like to do, 3 unique players, 35% at max exposure. We'll run it, see what we're getting, see and if we're okay with it. Obviously, want to prioritize getting on Benny Ann, Keith Mitchell, JT, and Scotty. That's really what I'm trying to do there. Tagala a lot, Corey Connors a lot. And so this is what's interesting. Only 25% of Corey or of Scotty. And some of you might be wondering why that is. Well, because the lineups just aren't as good with him in there. So if you want to be on him a little bit more, and we are seeing some of those golfers that don't have the AMT time popping up in there a little bit more. So if you want to be on JT a little bit more, if you want to be on Scotty a little bit more, what we need to do is probably just bump their projection up a little bit. So I don't know, Scotty, this 60, like really just tell the data I want to be on him. And then like JT, even like 50, 52. And then maybe like Victor Hovland, if you're worried about the PMT time, maybe you could cap his ownership at about 15. Same thing with Sam Burns. Could cap his ownership or exposure a little bit, maybe 20 for him. Like you don't want to fade that. Obviously, Wyndham Clark just went off. Corey Connors did what you'd kind of expect him to do. So like you don't want to cap it too much. But let's generate this, seeing if we're getting a little bit better exposures here. And not bad. Like Tagala, I probably don't like that much. Brian Harman, I probably don't like that much. Siwoo Kim, I don't like that much. So there are some ways to finagle a little bit. And so, yeah, for me, I'll just show you guys. So Tagala, again, I don't want to go against the data too much, but like 30%. Don't need to get too crazy with him. Victor Hovland, maybe 25. I don't know. Hovland did worry me coming into this week. Cameron Young, do we need to be on that much as well? Again, I don't want to. I'm fine with that, actually. I don't want to tell the data to do too much differently. Siwoo, let's jump that down to 30, and then same thing with like Harman, 30. And then I'm pretty good with the plays that we are getting, I think. We'll see. Yeah, I'm much more comfortable with that. So a little bit of differences there. Maybe could get to a little bit more JT at 25%, but feel pretty good about the lineups that are currently being spit out right now. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and jump into some 3-ball bets. So yeah, yesterday, round 1 was a very good round for 3-ball betting. You know, on average, it's about, let's just say 3 to 5 units won in total throughout the week. I mean, we consistently see that. So it's nice to already be at like 3.2. But again, at the same time, wouldn't it be shocking to maybe have a push day in round 2? But a lot of the same golfers that were around in round 1 are going to be popping up again in round 2. So Corey Connors to win, Benny Ann, Tom Hoagie, Andrew Novak. I mean, really not too many big differences here. So I'd be fine, kind of lather, rinse, repeat there. Then real quickly, I want to see if we are getting any good outright bets, mostly just for the popular books that are out there. Let's just take a peek. Not too many big differences. I mean, slightly for Wyndham Clark to top 20. You know, 2.3 to 1 compared to 2 on average. Not a big difference there. Probably not enough to be worthwhile there. But that's going to do it for the round 2 coverage, guys. You know, good luck in round 2. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Hopefully you guys are doing well on your main slate builds as well. Good luck tomorrow. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.